All right, welcome back to another Serious Angler podcast. It has been well over a week since our last podcast. Last week we did not have any podcasts due to, as myself, if you guys follow along on the Serious Angler social media, I went up to Lake Champlain for the week by myself to camp out, get away from all the madness occurring in our world today, and just do some fishing, do some camping by myself, be one with nature, and just relax, take a breath. It was an amazing time. Got up there, caught a bunch of fish, explored Champlain, which I've never been to, so it was an awesome experience. But we are back at home. We are fishing back at our home lakes here, and we are back to having the podcast. So today we have the Otisco winner for NYKBF. Just 2 days ago, he won the Otisco Lake Tournament for NYKBF, New York Kayak Bass Fishing. Mr. Scott Reynolds. We're going to get Scott on here, who's a good friend of mine. We're going to get on here and talk about his tournament win, how he got into fishing, kayak fishing. He does have two kids, one being almost 2 and 5 months old, so we might have him for only a short amount of time tonight, but we're able to squeeze him in here to get him on to talk about his experience and his tournament. But I'm pretty excited to get him on here as well. Just to talk about, catch up, see how things are, and talk about his tournament win. So congratulations, Scott. Let's get you on here. But before we do, a huge thank you to Douglas Outdoors for sponsoring this podcast. I want to give a huge shout out to Douglas for not only giving me the equipment to catch fish, but this past weekend I actually took my father out with my good friend Andrew Full, who's been on the podcast as well. Quick shout out to Andrew for taking us. That was awesome. Obviously, I cannot take my dad out on the kayak, so Andrew and I have been trying to fish together for a long time. Obviously, our schedules did not work out, but I wanted to take my dad out, and just happened that Andrew and I's schedule worked out, and he didn't mind that my dad tagged along, and we got my dad on some bedding, some big bedding, Lake Erie smallmouth. Got him on some 4-pounders, and that was a blast. My dad was using the 724XF, the LRS from Douglas, and he's having a blast bed fishing for the smallmouth, and it was an amazing sight to see. My dad had not been on Lake Erie in over 20 years. Last time he fished it was with his great-grandfather, so it was an awesome experience. So thank you to Douglas for sponsoring this podcast. I appreciate the work that you guys do for us. Check out Douglas at douglasoutdoors.com and get yourself a rod. You will not regret it. Reach out to me over social media if you have any questions. But without further ado, Mr. Scott Reynolds, let's get him on the podcast. All right, we are recording. Mr. Scott Reynolds, what's going on, man?
Oh, I'm just hanging out.
For people who don't know, Mr. Scott Reynolds here is the winner of Otisco Lake at NYKBF, which is the second live, I guess, true live event, right? It's the third, quote-unquote, live event of the year.
Yeah, the first one was any lake from last year or this year, which I did. I went to Oneida. I did okay there. I don't remember what I got, but yeah, this is the second actual live virtual event.
Yeah. How did you end up doing on Canisius?
Oh, that sucked.
Yeah, I heard it was rough for a lot of people.
Well,
yeah. It's just that weird time of year, but it seemed like you put things together for Otisco.
yeah, I had a plan going in, and I just had to stick with it. I got there. I was the first one at the North End launch at 4 a.m. Launched at 5. So I knew where I wanted to go just from last year.
Yeah.
And I got to my spot. We launched at 5. I got to my spot. I had to use my flashlight to see if they were on bed still, and they were there. So
that works.
Once I saw them, I knew what I was going to do all day.
Awesome. And we'll get into a little bit more of the whole tournament and how it went for you. But before we start, for people who don't know you, tell a little bit about yourself and how you got into fishing and who got you into it.
Yeah, I live in Beeville, 34, I think I am. Kids, wife, she's a nurse. I work for the state DOT as a welder, and just fishing. Started out, just young like everybody else, and stepfather taught me pretty much how to fish, and got my first kayak probably 7, 8 years ago, little Pelican, and I think I did a tournament out of that, my first one. Yeah, I just wanted to see how I'd do against everybody else. You know, kayak fishing was new. It was growing in the area. It's not nearly as big as it is now. Did pretty good that year and just kept doing it ever since. And learning every time I go out on the water, learning something different, helping other people out.
Yeah.
Josh was out there with me, and I was trying to teach him how to bed fish. I think he learned a little bit. I just learned how to bed fish last year, actually. Decent.
Yeah, it's pretty nice with those smallmouth. They aren't very picky when it comes to what's sitting on their bed.
No, not at all. Yeah, I learned that. I got the lure I used right here.
Oh boy.
The Otisco Tournament, and it's not a lure you would think you would bed fish with ever. I've never seen anybody bed fish with it.
Interesting. Well, if you're willing, we'll have to show that in a little bit. But it's gonna be cool how we break down Otisco. But I remember we competed at Canadice and you won there. Is this your second win, or have you? Okay, no, you won at Fuzzy Guppy on the canal as well. So is this your third win? I'm trying to recall how many other ones you might have won.
I think it might be my third. I think I've won one the past 3 years.
So you remember you won on the canal.
I know Canadice I won, and I think I got another one that year, a couple years ago.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's Rondequoit Bay. That's what it was. Because I got second to you.
That was the year I missed Angler Year by 1 point because I had to work.
That's funny. At least you know in the back of your mind that at least if you would have placed decently well at that whatever you missed, that you would have been fine.
Yeah. Back then, actually, there was, there was only like maybe 15 people average at a tournament. Now there's at least 50 every tournament.
It's awesome to see it blow up.
Yeah, it's just getting bigger and it's getting harder every tournament.
You definitely got more people for sure, and it's crazy that like the tournaments like Otisco is not a huge lake either, so I'm sure you saw kayaks all over the place.
It actually wasn't as bad as last year, and when I started last year, I went to the same spot, and there were probably 20 people in the spot I wanted to fish. This year, I think there was 5.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody else went, but
oh my gosh!
about it.
Yeah, it's not like a Cayuga or a Cuca or something like that where you can get away from everybody else. It's like that, like Silver, Honey Oil, all those smaller lakes where you're just going to be around everybody every day.
Oh yeah, all day long. Pass the same person multiple times and
exactly. That's funny. So when did you end up upgrading from the Pelican?
Oh, that was real quick.
I think you were in a Jackson, correct? You're in Jackson now?
Ascend FS12T for a couple of years. And then it was okay. I mean, it's a good, decent kayak, but you had an Ascend too, I know that. And mine actually cracked where you stand up in it.
Yeah.
The crack on both sides. And then I got rid of it right after that, and Justin gave me a good deal on a Jackson at Fuzzy Guppies, and I couldn't pass it up. I tried a bunch of models and the Coosa HD. Oh, hold on a
second. Here he goes being a dad.
Yeah, this one doesn't like to sleep at all. So
we have a special guest for today.
Oh, yeah, this is Owen.
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, you don't sleep. Yeah, I got the Jackson Coosa HD. I tried a bunch of models at Justin's shop, Fuzzy Guppies and Waterloo, and it just felt right. I felt most comfortable on it. I tried even the big rig. I mean, the big rig was nice, but that's just way too big. So I've been doing that, and I paddle, no pedals. So yesterday was kind of that was my game plan. I knew the weather. I had to get my limit before the wind picked up, and I somehow did it. I got my last one during the wind when it was getting pretty bad, and you could barely see the fish anymore. So,
It ended up blowing pretty hard, right? It was over 10.
I don't know what it was, but it was not out of the west what they said it was going to be. It was straight out of the north.
It's rare occurrence here in New York when they actually predict what it's going to be. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, I know.
it's ridiculous.
And
I was up.
that's my mind. They say it's going to be a west wind. Well, it's probably going to be south or north. So
Yeah, that happened to me. I was up in Champlain last week, and they said northwest at 4, and it turned into southeast at 12.
oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Even during the morning when it was supposed to be west, it was east.
It's just so weird.
What are we doing here? Come on.
Yeah, right. It's the one job where you can be wrong, and you still keep your job.
Oh yeah.
It's funny. So, do you remember what was your first tournament? Like, what body of water it was on?
Actually, Canisius, I remember it. Yep.
Canisius.
I was kayak anglers, and first tournament, I won a Dobbins Fury spinning rod on a raffle at the end of it.
Nice.
And I just broke the tip of it yesterday at the lake.
At least it lasted you a good amount of years.
This is my favorite rod still, and that's what I used Saturday to catch all the fish, even with a broken tip.
Oh my gosh, that's putting it to work right there.
Yeah, no.
That's awesome. Well, so talk to us a little bit about the Otisco tournament then. Obviously you said you went and fished a bunch of beds, and I was kind of surprised because Forrest had called me and said that the temperature was like 77 or something crazy, and I was still surprised that smallmouth were still up on bed. I thought that was kind of wild.
So did I when I saw it, and I thought they'd be easier to catch, but they were a little skittish, and I figured out by halfway through the morning, I got up real shallow. I was on this fish for like over an hour, and I was like, all right, that's enough of this. I'm going to get up real close to them because the wind was pushing me around. I was getting sick of trying to put my stake out pole in different spots. The wind was whipping around different directions, and so I paddled up the shore and anchored myself, and I was looking, and it was guarding fry. That's why I had a hard time finding the bed first, because they kept swimming back and forth, chasing the bluegill. They were chasing the carp off, so they were distracted, and I couldn't really get them to focus in on my bait. Half of them, I'm pretty sure with the warm weather past couple of days, they must have just hatched. So half of them were garden fry. There was a couple small ones I caught. I didn't submit just because I knew there were some bigger ones over there. But they were easier to catch. I'm pretty sure they were still on eggs.
Yeah.
So I would throw it out there a couple times. I would hit them with it, and then they'd spin right around, look at it, get all mad, and then they bite it. But the bigger ones, I'm pretty sure they just had Friday night with the warm weather.
Yeah,
and Friday night too. Also with a full moon.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a little later than you'd think, but the weather this spring has been so crazy anyway. I mean, snow in May, and
especially with that lake too, because it doesn't get very deep, so it could warm up within a matter of days. Especially if we get a few days that are real hot. It
went from high 60s to mid 70s throughout that day, yesterday.
That's crazy. But with those shallow lakes, it can fluctuate so quick. And it can be tough to keep up with, especially if it's on a decline. If it's dropping, yeah, that's gonna be a tough bite. But it looks like it was pretty easy for you guys. So it looked like everybody caught a bunch of smallmouth. I didn't see many largemouth on the board.
Yeah, I didn't. I saw 2 largemouth cruising the weed line early in the morning, and that was it. I mean, once the wind picked up, I went up north just to get out of the wind, like around 10 o'clock, and I was just gonna mess around in the weeds, throw chatterbait and rage menace, but I didn't see anything. And I heard a lot of couple guys, that's all they caught was largemouth up in the north end. But I don't know. I guess
That's weird. I mean, I wonder if did you even see any on bed or at all, largemouth wise?
bluegill were on better already.
Oh, so they might have been done. I mean, it seems like the smallmouth like their waves of smallmouth last so much longer than the largemouth. Like the largemouth get up, do their business, and they're gone within a matter of days. That's what I've seen with New York, at least. It's just they could have been already post-spawned in the grass.
Yeah, even the smallies I caught, their tails weren't beat up or nothing. Like,
weird.
And it's been a weird spring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for sure. We didn't really have a spring. It went from, 40, high 40s, low 50 degrees to high 60s. It was crazy.
90.
Yeah. Yeah, this week we're supposed to get high 80s and low 90 degrees as well.
Yeah. Can't wait for that. It worked.
So looking forward to the next tournament, Skinny Atlas. How do you think that one's going to turn out or project?
That one's going to be hard, I think, for everybody. I know since I've been fishing NYKBF, we've never been there. I've been there a couple times on my boat, and the water's so clear. I've never caught a bass out of there. I mean, it's going to be so clear, deep bite, I think.
It's a very deep lake.
The water is 50-something the other day. Even if they're on beds, they're going to be deep.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I think, something that not many people are going to be able to adjust to with that clear water. Is those smallmouth. There might be some few that will go up real shallow, like 5 or less, but they're not going to be winning fish. Those winning fish are going to spawn in 15 to 20. So it's going to be kind of crazy. But that and then also, I don't know of a launch in the south end. I know of one there on the west side, and it's not a very big launch. It could be a cluster for people.
I know the one on the northwest side, probably you're talking about. I launched my boat there, and I'll never do it again.
The little hill?
The sheriffs and DEC were there the one day, checking everything on the boat. And then on top of that, it's supposed to be a state launch, but you have to pay a private owner to park in the parking lot. I mean, it's going to be hard to find a launch on Skinny Atlas, really.
Yeah. Might just pay off a private dock owner or something to let people launch.
Yeah, I've never been on the southern end of it.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
I gotta do my homework like everybody else.
Yeah, it could be really interesting. I think that's going to be that and Canandaigua. There is no Canandaigua. We actually went over that one. So I think Skinny Atlas is probably going to be the most difficult in my mind for the upcoming schedule.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So what do you other tournaments moving forward for the rest of the season? Is there like one you're most excited about?
I know the next one after Skinny Atlas is Otis. I don't remember the ones after that.
Let's see, there's Sodas. I think there's a Honeyway in like July or August, which that one's just going to be whoever can get the 18-incher.
Top water for sure.
Yeah. Then Oneida in September. So that's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, the states are Oneida. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
I would say it's your home water, is it not?
Huh?
Isn't Oneida your home water?
It's like 10 minutes away.
10 minutes? Yeah, it's definitely your home water.
Onondaga is like 5 minutes away.
Oh, okay. All right.
Onondaga, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I pretty much just do. If I want to go out in the afternoon, I'll just hit the river or Onondaga, or sometimes I go to Oneida. Yeah.
He's trying to say hi to everybody.
Oh yeah. No, here you go.
That's funny. Is there this is a question I'm curious about. Is there a lake that New York hasn't put on the schedule yet that you'd like to see on the schedule? Maybe. What's that?
Lake Ontario.
Lake Ontario? Okay. So
It's gonna,
only lake, not the bays?
yeah. See, Ontario, it could be very good on a good weather day, but I could see it being canceled most of the time just because of the wind, storms. It's too dangerous, really.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I've fished every Finger Lake there is.
Yeah.
And I know we're doing like, if we did a lake last year, we're not doing it this year, or vice versa. Like next year, we won't do the lake we did this year. I mean, we hit pretty much all of them.
I
There's a
think
couple.
Chicago would be pretty cool.
Uh,
It's a big lake near Buffalo.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been out that far.
I
don't know.
It had some big fish.
In our area, I mean, we pretty much cover a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
With all the members, 50 plus members at a lake, you can't really do the small ones anymore.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to pull up the schedule here. I'm trying to remember if Cuca is on the schedule.
I think it is.
I thought I recalled that being on the schedule. I don't have the schedule memorized in my brain. Let's see. Let's pull it up real quick. So yeah, after skinning out Sodas, Honeoye, and Cuca on August 29th. It's a late summer Cuca Lake. That is gonna be. It's gonna be a tough bite, honestly. I think it would be. It depends on how early with this, the spring, the way it's been, how early that fall bite comes. That's what's gonna be interesting. But
hopefully we can meet up afterwards and do that normal deal by then.
Yeah, for real. It's so like day by day at this point with the virus, and obviously there's so many things going on. 2020 has not been a good year so far for our country or world in general, but hopefully it goes back to normal. It's a great experience getting with everybody afterwards and talking crap and having a beer and food.
Yeah, half of it is just getting together afterwards and talking about what worked, what didn't work, and getting your frustrations out if you didn't do good, and that big fake check.
Yeah, 100%. Getting some free stuff.
Yeah. I still don't know what I'm getting from Justin. He hasn't told me.
He's keeping it a secret. He's keeping all of it from everybody now that it's all virtual. He's gonna snag it. He's take it for himself.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. For Oneida on the state championship, do you think it's going to be one off of largemouth or smallmouth?
Fall. Smallmouth.
I was just going to say, I think whoever finds that.
If they win them, they're going to win them.
Yeah.
They're going to win smallmouth. That's going to be the hard finding them.
Yeah, I think the only problem, though, with smallmouth is if you can find that bite that's going to last 1 to 2 days, because they're so nomadic there. You find them one day and they're gone the next.
I know of a few spots. It's very hard to get to weather-wise, but they're there all year.
There you go.
A long paddle.
You better be careful what you're saying on here. You might have some followers in September. You might have a little paparazzi behind you launching that morning.
I got a couple spots I know of.
Sounds like he doesn't want to.
The bait I was using.
Yep.
Let's go. I don't know if you saw it, but try to take a guess what I was using.
I'm assuming a Ned rig.
Hold on a second. Let me
put I thought I saw a jig head. He's putting him back to bed. Scott is on dad duties right now.
Yeah, you have to edit that part out.
Yeah, you're good. No worries. See, I thought I saw a jig head. So I'm assuming I was just gonna guess a Ned rig.
No, the bait I actually used was I don't remember this hook. I think it's a Trocar. Swim bait.
Okay. Well, the Diesel minnow, I see.
Z-Man Diesel. I don't remember the color, but it's green.
Is that a green bottom to it?
It's like a chartreuse bottom. Kind of a light green, dark green on top.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to remember the name of that color because I've used it before.
I tell you what, this thing looks.
I can't recall the name.
It's
diesel minnows are nice. I have a bunch of them.
half ounce head.
Yep.
And all I was doing is I was just taking them off. Really, I would hit him with it, hit him in the tail. They'd spin around, look at it. They use the JB's fish sauce craw, like chapstick thing. Put it on there, and that helped.
Probably helped it stick for a little bit longer.
Yeah, they paid more attention to it, and
when they're being
though.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not exactly like a stand-up head, but it gives it more of a lifelike action. You know, that swimming action where it looks at, especially when they're finicky like that. They need something more realistic. It's not just like when they're locked on bed where you can throw, anything you want. You could throw, food from the supermarket at them and they'll eat it. So
no, they weren't that way.
Yeah, so that's good. You've been a little bit more realistic with them, trick them a little bit easier. That's good. There's one baits I like when they're like that is the Yum craw bugs. It literally just looks like it's a floating craw that Yum makes.
What do you want?
Dad of the year right here.
Yeah. I think John's got that. He's got 2 newborn twins.
Yeah, that for him to be able to do that and also be a TD and also get out and fish, it's props to him. That's crazy.
I know it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was just putting it right in their bed. Once I found their bed, like I'd have to sit there for probably 10 minutes just to get them to stop moving and sit on the bed for a second, and I could find it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like largemouth, smallmouth. They got a little space in the little rocks.
Yeah,
it's not big. Once I found that, I just kept throwing it in the bed. I know this one. I know Justin mentioned it in the awards video. I was literally on this bed for 2 hours trying to catch this fish. And it was a 19, so I wasn't leaving it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because you fire that thing up for 2 hours and somebody else comes by a couple minutes after you and takes them a couple of casts and they got that thing.
No, there's no way. Especially after Forrest actually was right next to me when I caught the 19 and a half. And he was just chatting with me, he was having a good time. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, this one's pretty big. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's good. That's awesome, dude.
After that one, the wind picked up and pretty much fed fishing was all over for the day. So.
Nice. Well, congratulations again on the win.
So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're keeping the big NYKBF resume rolling, so that's good. You gonna do any national tournaments, anything outside of the NYKBF circuit at all?
Maybe. I don't know where they postponed the nationals for last year, didn't they? The fall.
Yeah, it's in October now. I think it's still at Gunnersville.
Where's next year? I thought I heard next year's was going to be at Kentucky again. But
I'm not sure. Are you talking about 2021 or this year?
Yeah,
like this year's? I'm not sure what 2021 is supposed to be.
I thought I heard that it was going to be at Kentucky again. I mean, I might think about doing that one again just because I went there once before and got my butt kicked. And...
It's going to be interesting if it's at Kentucky again because Kentucky's going through a phase where the fishing is, I'm hearing it's horrible, where the Pro Series aren't even going back there because they're trying to leave it alone and let nature run its course because apparently the carp have just absolutely destroyed all the habitats around the lake, so it's tough fishing. Like I think the water's up like 8 foot right now, so like that Hobie at Kentucky Lake's going to be tough. That'll be interesting to see who comes away with that, but
I don't know. I mean, depending on where it is, and if I win another one, then I'll definitely have the money to go.
Yeah.
It's
That's always
pretty
yeah.
expensive. You want
That's
at
always a
least
factor.
$30,000 for a trip down south for a tournament.
Yeah, that's definitely a big factor in it, especially now that you got 2 kids.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome, dude. Well, congratulations again. And what do you have any last remarks about the Otisco tournament or the remaining season before we get into our fun question segment to wrap things up?
Yeah, just don't give up. If you see a fish and it's on a bed, don't give up on it.
Do your best to piss that thing off.
Oh yeah, you're mad.
That's awesome, man. All right. I have 2 questions that I like to ask everybody to wrap up every segment. I don't know if you are familiar with the questions I ask, but they're pretty fun because they like either they stump you, or it takes you a while to get your answer, or people just have it like right away. So it's pretty fun to do. So
All right,
are you ready for these last 2 questions?
sure.
All right. So the first question is, if you could invite any 3 people to dinner to pick their brain, they could be past, present. They don't have to be fishing industry. Who would you invite to dinner and why?
Fishing related?
They don't have to be. They could be in the fishing industry. They don't have to be. Just somebody you would like to sit down and pick their brain.
Jimmy Houston, Jacob Wheeler, and KVD.
That was quick. Okay. Well, I'm sure Jacob. Obviously 3 legends. Yeah. I feel like Jimmy Houston would be a riot.
Oh yeah. Funny. Jacob, I've been watching his videos. He seems like a cool guy, down to earth, and he knows how to win.
That is for sure. Doesn't matter the format, he'll figure it out.
You just can't beat him.
Yeah.
Smallmouth fishing? No, you're not gonna beat him.
Yeah, he's shown you can catch the brown, and then he can go down at Toledo Bend and whack up giant bags of greens fishing ledges.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm gonna get better at is fishing deeper for him. So that'd be my answer there.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. That's probably the quickest anyone has ever answered that question on a podcast before.
I mean, it's Sunday. I was just watching fishing this morning, and Jimmy Houston was on, and I watched Jacob Wheeler. And, I mean, I would pick Greg Blanchard, but I know him.
Yeah.
I already know how he fishes.
Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. All right, so the last question I have for you before we just wrap things up is just plain and simple, your favorite fishing memory.
Favorite fishing memory. I don't know, is it memory? My favorite time fishing is when I bring people out who've never really caught fish before, and I can put them on fish, and they have a good time. Like family members, friends, nephews. I just like seeing everybody happy when they catch fish and
watching people freak out over it.
Yeah, just like a 12-inch bass, they freak out and like, oh, good.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling. It's the next best thing to catching fish yourself. Sometimes it's even better. So that's awesome. I just
boat myself. I bring people out, and I want them to catch fish more than I want to catch a fish.
Yeah, I was actually just telling people in the introduction here when I was introducing you to everyone watching and listening that I just brought my dad out to Lake Erie. He hasn't been out on Lake Erie in over 20 years since he went out with his grandfather. So he hasn't seen or been on the lake since, and brought him out with my buddy, and we were catching 3 to 4 or 5 pound smallmouth off a bed, and he was having the time of his life doing that. So it was awesome.
Walleye.
Yeah, we thought we got it. We went after some free spawners. We thought we hooked into some walleye, but that turned out to be just some sluggish smallmouth that were on their way up shallow. But no, it was cool. We were trying to just get him on fish and watching. He was just having a riot watching the smallmouth attack his baits, and it was. I totally understand where you're coming from, and that's awesome. All right, man.
Kids get older, I can show them what to do.
Exactly. Yeah. You get through the non-sleeping stages, and then you can take them fishing.
Oh yeah, you'll be there someday too. Don't worry.
Knocking on wood. All right, man. It's been a pleasure. I know you got daddy duties to do, so I won't take up too much of your time, but I appreciate you taking a few minutes here to hop on and talk about your win at Otisco.
All right. Well, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. We'll talk soon, and hopefully we'll get on the water soon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. See ya.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that podcast. Like I said, it was a quick one today. Just because Scott's got kids, he's got a lot of things on his plate, so we got to squeeze him in here for a good 30 minutes, talk to him about his story, his roots, and how he won the Otisco Tournament. So congratulations again, Scott. I'll link to your social media down below so everybody can go and follow along. I'm sure this won't be the last time we have Scott on here this year. I'm sure there's another tournament along the road for the season that he might pull out the W. So congratulations again, Scott. Congratulations on the win. I believe he said it was number 3 for NYKBF that he's won in the past few years. So that's pretty awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to go down in the description and follow Scott on his social media. And if you're not already, subscribe to the Egbert Outdoors YouTube channel. You can find the podcast on any podcast application out there, including the Angler app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anything out there. You can find us, Serious Angler. Follow us on social media. Don't hesitate to reach out should you have any questions or no matter the topic. You can reach out. Hope everyone is staying safe, staying healthy, and hopefully we can all come together in these hard and tough times and battle out these issues together. So hope everyone is doing okay. Hope these podcasts help you through your day. We're getting back to 3 a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I promise we are back onto the schedule. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching and listening. We'll see you guys next time.